Hi, and welcome everyone. I'm Kevin, and today I'm thrilled to showcase Rev Scale, a next generation customer relationship management platform. Our unique blend of human psychology, AI, predictive analytics, and intent data is designed to revolutionize how sellers connect with buyers. In an era where understanding and predicting customer needs is more critical than ever, and current outbound marketing and sales tools are simply broken and outdated, RevScale empowers businesses to connect with their customers like never before. Our platform isn't just about managing relationships, it's about anticipating needs, understanding behaviors, and making every interaction count. So let's start with our AI engine. RevScale's AI analyzes patterns, predicts buyer intent, and provides actionable insights, enabling sellers to engage with prospects at the right time with the right message. Next are predictive analytics. This feature uses data driven models to forecast customer behaviors, helping sellers to strategize effectively. And lastly, our data integration. RevScale seamlessly integrates with your existing data sources, ensuring a unified view of each customer, enhancing every interaction with deep insights. So, how do you get started with RevScale and how does RevScale truly work? So, to best demonstrate that, I want to go ahead and go into some of our live accounts, show you how the platform works and some of these actual interactions. So, what you're looking at right now is the RevScale portal. So this is the initial dashboard. As you can see, it's very seamless, very just straightforward, easy to use. On the left side, you'll see several different tabs, such as your dashboard, your current active campaigns, templates, the kind of messaging that's going out, saved responses that you can create, have macro responses to automatically be able to send out. Different things like your integrations, but more importantly, what I want to walk you through is the inbox here. I want to go into the inbox and show you step by step some of these conversations and how they actually worked. So, for starters, let's go to this conversation with Manpreet here. As you can see, this profile joined the campaign November 1st. On November 1st, Manpreet was identified as someone who might be a good prospect. The AI, though, however, it waited until November 20th to start anything. It liked their post on November 20th. Now, why did it do that? The typical human, once they identify a prospect that they think would be good to reach out to, they will immediately send them a follow request or a connection request, or they'll immediately send them a message. However, the AI knows that in these 19 days, for whatever reason, Manpreet was simply not available. It would not have been a good time to reach out. So it waited. It strategically waited 19 days. It liked some one of their posts in their campaign. And then what it did is 2 days later, around the same time, there in the afternoon, it followed the prospect. And then this is a remarkable thing that no human would ever do. It waited another 20 days before viewing his profile. Now, why did it do that? That's way above my intelligence, but the AI knew that it did the initial connection with the prospect. It showcased your name, the seller's name, to the prospect. However, it said now is not the right time. I'm going to wait and I'm going to sit and wait for the right time. So another 20 days later, almost 3 weeks, it goes and it views their profile. And then a few hours after that, it invites the prospect to connect. Now it takes the prospect here not even a day. It took the prospect 40 minutes to accept this connection request. 40 minutes. Now, it might have been that if we had connected back in November, still would have happened, still would have accepted within 40 minutes. However, most likely not. There was a reason that the prospect accepted this connection request, and it's because for the past month and a half almost, it's been seeing the seller's name pop up in random occasions. It hasn't been spammy, it hasn't been so consistent that he notices, but it's been there. It's been subtly happening. His name has shown up in front of the prospect's account for the past month and a half. He sees the seller's name come across that he wants to connect, and now it feels warm. It feels like he recognizes this name, so he goes ahead and he accepts the connection. Now, as you can see here, from the one connection request, he accepted, he saw the note, and then the next day around 3 o'clock, he went ahead and responded and sent his email to continue the conversation. Now, another thing that some of these other spam tools, automation tools out there would have done is a connection is sent and accepted, and it will automatically send a message. However, Rev Scale does not do that. Rev Scale waits. It strategically waits. It says, I know this person's probably not going to respond right away. Let me give him a little bit. Let me give him a couple of days, whatever it might be. Maybe let me view his profile again in the meantime to initiate a response. However, in this case, the prospect responded. Now, I want to look at another example here where it took a lot longer for this response to come. July 10th, the account was identified. July 13th, it joined the campaign. 5 days later, followed the account. Same day, liked the post. 2 days later, viewed the account, and 1 day later, it went ahead and invited them to connect. So this warm-up phase was only 1 week. The AI thought that Maxim here would be a good prospect to respond immediately. So it went out and connected. However, it took Maxim here almost a month to accept the connection request, but he eventually accepted. And then what happened? 3 days go by, no response. So the AI follows up. 5 days go by, still no response. The AI follows up. 7 days go by, still no response. So what does the AI do? It goes ahead and follows up yet again. Now, almost 11, 12 more days go by, still no response. The AI goes and follows up again. As you can see, these days here, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 11 days, they're not random. They're strategically chosen by the AI to say, I should wait this amount of time based on Maxim's activity on LinkedIn. Whatever it may be, it decided to wait. And lo and behold, after all this outreach, he responds. So, while this might seem like a negative response, it really isn't, because it shows us that the AI was correct. He's already working with someone trying to find a 50-foot lot. The seller here is a real estate agent, and this means that Maxim is in the market. He is literally looking for something to buy. However, he's just working with someone else at the moment, but that does not mean that he's not a potential candidate or a potential customer. He even says it here, if you have any listings that meet the criteria, he'd be happy to explore. While he's using someone else, he's not necessarily loyal to their services, because all he wants that 50-foot lot. So this shows a great example of the AI continuing to follow up at strategic points. And as you can see here, in this last outreach on September 11th, he responded roughly an hour later, a little bit over an hour later. The AI knew that Maxim was on LinkedIn. It knew that he was active. It knew that if it reached out today on this specific day, it would lead to a high probability of Maxim responding. Now, there are different kinds of outreach as well. If we're looking at one that's not connection-based, one where a long message goes out instead. As you can see here, we have non-premium and just one that doesn't say non-premium. These are two different campaigns that are running. One, the non-premium, is going to be a connection-based, and this other one is going to be InMail-based. Essentially, what the AI does is it looks at Marty's profile or the prospect's profile, and it tries to figure out, all right, would this person be more likely to respond to me if I send them an InMail or if I send them a connection request first? It waits a little bit. It viewed their profile. However, that's all it did. It just viewed their profile, and then same day, it identified the prospect on the first, viewed their profile on the first, figured out, Marty is a prime candidate for me to reach out to via InMail, not connection. So even though it joined this campaign, it did not send them a connection. Instead, it went ahead and sent them an InMail within 9 hours of it being identified as a possible prospect. This happened on the 1st, 1339. Literally 4 minutes later, Marty responds, I can discuss, here's my phone number, and here's my calendar link. Marty, AI knew that Marty was a prime prospect and it needed to reach out now. It couldn't wait a month. It couldn't wait a couple of weeks to warm up the account. The AI knew, based on Marty's buyer intent, based on the signals that he's been putting out into the world, whether he's been downloading white sheets, whether he's been reading specific articles, he's been posting specific stuff. The AI knew that Marty was a hot prospect and it had to reach out now. Now, I want to walk through another example here. So this prospect, we've already kind of talked about all the types of outreach, but the reason I want to talk about this prospect is this one went a little bit different. So with this one, the initial connection request went out. He didn't respond. So then a follow-up message went out, a little bit of a longer message trying to get the prospect to respond. Message goes out 14:08. 23 minutes later, he responds, "Sure, let's schedule a call," sends the email. The email was sent, and then he received it. So here's what happened. The seller reached out to this person. They were in market. However, as you can see here, they're marked as not interested. Why is that? That's because even if someone is in market, even if they're a potential prospect, things just don't always work out. Of course, Rev Scale AI will open that door for you, but your offering has to be good. It has to be great, and it has to appeal to the people. So in this case, it just wasn't for him. It just was not for the prospect. So the reason I'm showing you this example is, of course, things are not always going to 100% work out. However, the AI will open that door to have that discussion. And at the end of the day, RevScale is not a lead gen tool. We're not saying we're going to flood you with leads. We're going to say that we're saying that we're going to flood you with relationships. RevScale really is it's building business relationships at scale. With that, this prospect here is now forever going to be in the seller's network on LinkedIn, and he's already viewed the material that the seller has here. If down the line he happens to be in market or it happens to be for him, he'll reach out. And if he talks to someone who expresses interest in what he just read in this brief, he'll be able to refer them to the seller. Another great example is this one right here. This conversation with Trevor. The AI reached out. It did all its micro touch points. It reached out once, it reached out twice, it reached out a third time, and then finally he responds, "No, nothing at the present." So he's not 100% a great target for this campaign. He's not in market. However, again, we're not a lead gen tool. We're a relationship building tool. And this is specifically described by his last sentence here. Hopefully not for a long time, but you never know. The next time that Trevor's looking for a house, the next time that Trevor needs this kind of service, he's going to remember this conversation. He's going to say, "I have someone in my LinkedIn network that once reached out with an open hand. Let me go ahead and take it. Let me ask for that help." And lastly, I want to look through this one last conversation here. Initial outreach, micro touch points, follow-up message. And then the conversation just keeps going. Once Joe responded here, that's when you, the user, takes over the conversation. And just because they send an email, conversations can be continued to be had through the inbox. And in addition, he said, "Let's push back to January." Again, it's another example of a situation that's maybe just not ready right now, but the relationship has been built. He's been marked as follow-up later, and the seller will be reaching out to Joe here shortly just to reinitiate this conversation. Just because something doesn't close right now doesn't mean that one, it won't close in a few months, or two, you won't be able to leverage it to close something else in the coming time. So that's the RevScale portal. I look forward to actually showing you the rest of these tabs when you sign up and I walk you through the actual portal dashboard walkthrough. Thanks.